Hi everyone, welcome to Casual Watch Talk Sunday Social. We have a full house. Everyone's here to talk about watch straps. So this should be a fun one. Why don't we do a bit of a wristwatch check? Steve, you're actually in the hot seat. Are you prepared to
Sure.
wristwatch check us?
Well, it's not a strap, but it is a watch that I have on bracelet. So this is a 1950s Longines rail track dial. See if I can get it close enough here. And I picked this watch, one, because I haven't worn it in a long time, but also it's probably the only watch I own that the bracelet costs more than the watch. It's vintage. It's from the 1950s. These bracelets are impossible to find, and so I spent an exorbitant amount just getting the right bracelet for this watch. And I'm embarrassed to say how much it was, but it was less than $1,000. I'll put it that way.
Wow, bang on subject.
His wife must be watching.
TJ, what are you wearing? You're on mute also.
All right, yeah. So I just got this. I've been looking at it for a long time, the Navigator in steel. Yeah. And I know I am missing the date, but the aesthetic of it is just a lot cooler without it, I thought. And I've got it on my favorite NATO of all time. And I don't know if that's when I'm supposed to talk about it or later, but I am looking forward to talk about straps because I think absolutely. This one is fantastic.
Awesome. Bobby, welcome.
Hey guys.
What are you wearing?
Yeah, well, okay. So in the spirit of our discussion today, I have the Damasco DK36, and I dug up this bun strap, and I don't know, and we'll save it for later, but am I a bun strap guy? I don't know.
Oh, I go through phases, I go through phases of that. Yeah, it does look really good on that watch. Yeah. Mark?
So I have the Christopher Ward C60 Limpston on the brushed bracelet, which matches the case. And for in the spirit of what we'll be talking about today, if you changed it, you'd ruin it. It's a perfect match.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there you go.
Awesome. Todd, you're up next. What are you wearing?
I dug out one of my what's a discontinued Tudor. It's the Tudor style with the fluted bezel. It's the one that everybody talks about Datejust, and they go, I want a Datejust alternative, and everybody goes the Tudor Royal, and I'm like, you totally missed it if you didn't get one of these. This is your Datejust alternative from Tudor, and this bracelet we're going to talk about.
Awesome. And then the story will probably come out as we go through this, but I am wearing a Marathon GSAR. And this watch is actually the reason why I came up with the subject for this for today, because, well, we'll talk about it as we go through. I won't give the game away, but this watch was the catalyst. I got this on a recent trade, and yeah, they're really cool. They're really cool watches. Well, why don't we start off with? I think we need to. There's a couple of areas we need to cover for sure, but I think why don't we start off with watches, like stock watches that come with great stock straps, should we say? Should we start off with straps or bracelets? Let's go with straps. Or maybe the question is there any watch stock strapped watch that you wouldn't change the strap on? I'm gonna have to be careful how many times I say that tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll
take a shot.
I'll go first on that one, because I brought it with me because I was so impressed buying this watch recently because of the strap that it came on. Because I think there are a lot of brands where the straps are really an afterthought, really high-end brands, and I'm sure I'll talk about those later. But I was very impressed by this micro brand because of the strap that came with it, and that is my Studio Underdog, the watermelon. This has got, it's some sort of a pebbled leather strap that's on this, and yeah, I think it's super high quality. Very, very impressed. A lot of straps I feel like that come with watches are generally kind of cheap looking and stiff, and this is very supple and I think matches the character of the watch perfectly. And so I fully expected when I bought this watch new that I would buy an aftermarket strap. That's something I often do when I buy new watches. But the strap on this is so good. I am totally content keeping it on here.
Yeah, well, good one. Mark, go on. You were gonna dive in.
I was going to say the Christopher Ward Belcanto, the original blue. You can get it on the titanium bracelet, but the original blue strap matches it perfectly. Why would you ever change? It doesn't need the bracelet to look sporty, but the strap is extremely comfortable. The blue stitching and the blue leather work very well. Of the other Belcantos, the only other one I'd say that about is the purple. If you're going to wear a watch with the purple dial that has, the purple strap that goes with it just ups it another level. So that's a watch where the original strap perfectly fits the watch.
I'm gonna tag on to what Mark's saying too. I think Christopher Ward has some of the best straps in the game at their price point, especially if you look at them. Yeah, they're pricey as an aftermarket, but the ones that they were selling even back when with the Sealanders, those leathers, like that vintage leather, so supple, so well made. I mean, it's one of those few ones where like I'd actually spend the money, I think, to buy replacements of those as opposed to look in other places that I'm going to talk about, I am assuming, as we go down this path. But that one, and then the other one that really surprised me is I have this Citizen perpetual calendar, kind of a pilot watch style. This strap that came on this, I tried to change this, and there's nothing. This is a beautiful strap, and I don't know how what they did here, but it's comfortable. It's got a good feel on the wrist. It's thick. I managed it to last a lifetime, and it's got that great sort of pilot aesthetic and fantastic. I can't change this one now. It has to live on this watch.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the Christopher Ward, because I would always say, buy the watch on a bracelet for if it comes on a bracelet. But that Christopher Ward, the moon phase, the Aventurian dial one, I think I've only seen it on. Well, I actually saw it on the bracelet at Wind Up, but it looks awesome on the blue, dark blue leather that it comes with. I would actually, it's probably the only watch I'd say buy it on the leather.
Yeah.
I actually, but there are some watches where the bracelet can be so expensive as an aftermarket part that even if you don't like the watch on the bracelet, just in case you change your mind or you feel like selling it in the future, any Omega Seamaster, sort of buy it on the bracelet, because if you've got a matching Omega rubber strap, that'll be a great strap, but it's so much cheaper to buy it on the bracelet and add the strap than any other way of doing it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So so thinking of great straps, Bobby, is there one that comes to mind, like a stock one that comes on a watch that you wouldn't change?
Excuse me, I'm just clearing my throat. So based on personal experience, a strap that I was very, very surprised. About a year and a half ago, I purchased a Seiko Prospects, the SPDC 105, and I don't know if that's the 62 Moss or 65 Moss, whatever it is. It came with a stock rubber strap. Now, I am so used to some of these lower end Seiko divers with those terrible rubber straps with the accordion on it. It was just brutal. But some of these mid-tier Seiko divers that come on the rubber straps are very, very good. Very, very surprised by that. It took me by surprise. Maybe, and only because of the terrible experience I've had with some of those cheaper and more affordable and kind of like straps that came with more affordable divers. Now, are we just talking straps? Are we talking bracelets too, or we should definitely get to bracelets. So one thing I want to mention bracelet wise, again from personal experience, the Rolex Submariner, the 41, the recent iteration of it, that bracelet is one of the best bracelets I've ever had put on wrist. And then you had the glide lock, the glide adjustment on the buckle, on the clasp. Just a great wearing experience. I had changed it only once to a Everest rubber strap just because I wanted to lower the profile of it, as when I was wearing it out and about. But there is no reason to ever change the bracelet, in my opinion, on that watch. It was just a great bracelet.
Yeah, it's really good. TJ, is there one that you think of like a stock? You normally change your straps, though, don't you? Or...
Yeah, I do, but sometimes regrettably so, I guess. Like I got a Stova Classic 40, and that leather strap. Now, I'm not really a leather strap guy, but that one made me think twice because it was just kind of unique, and it actually looked a lot like the Citizen, I think that Mark showed. It had that, the rivets and stuff, and it was but super soft and comfortable. But yes, I changed it out. I think IWC's their fabric straps are fantastic. They look just really cool. I've never seen a picture of one that didn't look awesome. And then I ended up buying a Mark 18 that's the tribute to the RAF Mark 11. So that's the only Mark 18 that doesn't come with a bracelet. But I just kind of looked at the Mark 18s that did and liked it. And so I ended up getting it aftermarket. It was more expensive, but it's super. And it's got these little holes on the back where you push a pin to take them apart. So adjusting size is super easy. I thought that was really neat. And it's got the ratchet button. The IWC symbol is a push button for micro. So at that time, I think it's like a year ago that I got it. I couldn't believe every single metal bracelet doesn't have that mechanism, and it looks like they're becoming more popular. But just this is so, I mean, it's heavy, which is what I didn't like about steel bracelets my whole life, but this is the first steel bracelet I wear all the time. I've worn this every day since I bought this watch, and I love it. And I've never, I tried to take this bracelet off once, put it on a NATO again because I love them, but it went right back to it because it looks awesome. So yeah, I think IWC, it really is for me the king of straps and bracelets.
Oh, that's cool. Because I would say if we go talk about bracelets, out of all the ones that I've seen, I think Rolex is the best. I think Rolex Jubilee and the Oyster as well. There's something. I even asked Justin, our friend that used to work at Rolex AD, like, is there something special they do with their bracelets? Because they're very light, but they articulate very well, especially the Jubilee. It's like a glove wearing it.
Yeah, I agree, Sam. I don't know if they put like crack in a bracelet or what, but they just they just feel they're just so great on wrist, especially. Look, I mean, 20 or 30 years ago, the joke was like it's jangly and whatnot, and then the bracelets weren't like up to par with the rest of the package. Kind of like how I feel like Zinn bracelets are not necessarily up to par with the rest of the great tech that comes with their watches. But now, I mean, that going back to that Submariner example I mentioned again, I don't think I've ever worn a better bracelet on a watch.
Yeah.
And there's some great bracelets out there. Don't get me wrong. We can make so many arguments for so many great bracelets for sure. IWC was mentioned for straps, but I think they make a heck of a bracelet now. They got a great bracelet system. Cartier, I think they make great bracelets as well. But yeah.
And that's why I wore the watch I wore today, because I'm not trying to start the whole Tudor is never going to be Rolex debate, but Tudor benefits of the tech
Absolutely.
from Rolex. And this bracelet that comes on this watch, it articulates in a way that it's like nothing, drapes on your wrist. It's like butter. It's a 5-link. It's like their version of a kind of Jubilee or polished center link, but it's the most comfortable. It's like you're not even wearing a bracelet. I mean, it's that same crack that Rolex has. They share it with Tudor Factory.
And Todd, I'm with you on that. People knock the Black Bay 58 bracelet because of the faux rivets. It's like, oh, it's got faux rivets. I don't like that. But to me, that doesn't matter. The bracelet, it's so great on wrist, that bracelet as well.
It is.
You know what I mean? So
and you don't see the rivets when you're wearing it. Like, it's not. I've never understood the whole rivet controversy.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Bill K's saying about the Formex ones. The Formex ones are good. That system that they've got going on there is really good. It's like a butterfly clasp, but it adjusts.
Although it's the only strap that I've had to open the manual for the watch to figure out how to work it properly. It's not obvious how to do the adjustments, but once you
That's
figure
impressive.
it out, yeah, it's like, okay, I know how to work the watch. Now how do I work the clasp? Damn it, I'm going to have to open the manual.
This is coming from an engineer, by the way. Let's get that on the.
Yeah. SJ here said,
It doesn't help that they say there are 4 steps in the bracelet in the manual for the clasp and only show 3. Okay.
yeah. Well, Mark, I think this probably statements for you as well, isn't it? The Christopher Ward bracelets at Wind Up are impressive. They are, aren't they? Their ratcheted system is really cool.
I mean, Christopher Ward as a brand have been working on bracelets with, just specifically trying to up their game for 7 or 8 years now. They realized they were behind, and then they've continuously pushed to up their game, and it shows.
They're way ahead now. I mean, by watches at that price point, their bracelet is far and above.
Yeah,
many.
Well, the stainless ones are. The titanium ones.
Okay.
I don't think quite there, but the stainless steel ones are definitely.
I like my. I've got the Elite 1000, and I think I like the titanium. It's sort of similar, but one I was impressed with that Jack Mason that I recently reviewed. They've got a ratcheted system similar to the Glide Lock on the Rolex, although that's a copyright. But it's a similar system, and but they've made it very, very thin. The adjustment system, they've done quite a good job, really. I think Jack Mason put a lot of effort into the bracelets as well. So, Steve, can you think? Is there a stock bracelet you really like?
I did just purchase one of the King Seiko watches recently, and
that's got a really nice looking one.
Yeah, I was very impressed with it. I think one of the big things, and a lot of people have already hit on this already, is that the most comfortable bracelets are the ones typically with the most pieces on it. So when you think about a Jubilee, it's got many pieces, so it articulates more. It's more comfortable. Yeah, that's the one. For the most part, if it's got a lot of pieces on it, it's going to be more difficult to change, but it's also going to, articulate the most and form the most to your wrist. So this is one of those, and I found it to be extremely comfortable. I will echo what others have said about the Rolex Oyster. I mean, it's probably one of the most comfortable bracelets I've ever worn before. And I don't know if it comes down to just the amount of time that they spend on it, or because of the material is a slightly different stainless steel. I think it's 904L. Whatever it is, they really have changed their reputation from being really kind of junky bracelets to having, I think, one of the best bracelets now. So they are very comfortable.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, I guess next question is, who makes the worst bracelet? or one, is there a stock bracelet that we don't like? This is actually what spurned my, so I'll go last, but this is what spurned this video.
It starts with anything in the entry-level Seiko, right? Like those bracelets are just, they're hard to work with. The end links are terrible. They choose, everything about them is just, it feels cheap, and it's a bummer. It's like, I'd rather spend an extra $50 or $100 on the watch and just give me a decent bracelet.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Yeah, Sam, I think you and I both bought the Seiko 39mm solar chronograph.
Yes.
The speed timer.
Yeah.
And that bracelet was just so heavy. It went off. I don't even know if I kept it. It's just gone because it's just not workable.
Yeah, and which is weird because I got the next one where it was a 21 mil lug width, and then Uncle Seiko, Uncle Straps makes an additional piece for it. Let me see if I can find it, but he makes like an additional section that goes on that strap that just completely changes the entire look.
His stuff is great. Yeah, I've bought like 3 bracelets for my Speedmaster from him, and it's addictive because they're all really cool, and they all have exactly what I don't know, they all do something completely different to the watch. And I
Yeah,
thought his stuff was really good quality and
yeah.
really neat.
This piece completely changes it because it adds another layer of micro adjustment, and for some reason that was just enough on the SSC 911 that just changed it for me, and I never took it off the bracelet. Oh, actually, yeah, that's now found a new home. So maybe Todd, what do you think of the extra piece?
I actually, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I love, that's the one Seiko that kind of like, okay, this bracelet is very workable. And, you know, and it's funny because it's not that big of a jump in price to that watch. You know, your Seiko 5s are like, what are they? 250, 350, you know, in the market. And that watch is, I mean, it says 560, but I think you can get them for, you know, 450 to 600, right?
Yeah.
So not a huge jump in price, but the bracelet is a huge jump in quality compared to the lower level.
Yeah, because that's the same clasp I've got on my Grand Seiko, sort of, and I don't mind it. But
yeah, it's nice.
Anyone else, Bobby? Is there a stock one you?
Oh, sorry. Is it safe to say then if you can't micro adjust, either you get lucky that it fits perfectly or it's just not usable? Because to me, I'm fussy with it, and if I can't micro adjust and it happens to that I'm in between, I can't wear it or I won't. So the micro adjustment's been decisive for me. Is that true for others?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
For me,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm like a weird outlier. Like my skin is like kind of annoyingly oily, and so I get annoyed when a watch is sticking to my wrist. So I prefer a loose fitting bracelet so that I can let it has to breathe, or I feel claustrophobic. So if it's a little big, it doesn't faze me at the least. So I don't really, but I'm strange that way. That's why I prefer bracelets. I think mostly over strap, because it's just like it starts sticking to my wrist and starts making me crazy.
Yeah, I think it depends on the balance of the watch, doesn't it? Because and this G-Shock wears a little big, but I don't mind that it's loose. But then I've got another G-Shock. This one, it's similar to the one you've got, Todd, but the links are too big. Even though it has got micro adjustment, there's still enough gap that it irritates me. Like it irritates me moving around. Whereas the G-Shock, I think, because it's low profile, isn't it? If it's low profile, it doesn't bother me too much. But yeah, I think G-Shock do a great job of their, because the G-Shock's got the link adjustment system where it's mini spring bars inside, which I don't know why more people don't do it. There must be a reason why other people don't do it, but I like the fact that it's mini spring bars to adjust them.
Yeah, I gotta say, there's not too many. I'm almost like bracelet agnostic. Like it just doesn't really bother me as much. I mean, I figure if it's a sub $100 or $200 watch, well, the bracelet's not going to be great, and I think that's okay. I had mentioned Zin, and not that Zin makes a terrible bracelet. It's just that the level of expectation that I have now in regards to the rest of their product, I feel like they come up a little bit short with the bracelet. But so I will always buy the strap, right? I don't subscribe to that philosophy of buying the bracelet and then buying the strap when it comes to Zen. But I think it's also one of these cases where I'm not gonna pound the table too loudly, because I want to be careful what I wish for. If they start putting some tech on those bracelets, the prices on those watches will probably go up. So I like things the way they are. I'm good with their rubber straps or their leather straps for their watches. But just just give me a little bit more, just a little bit more. I want from them.
Yeah.
I have one more to add here. I was very surprised by this because of the amount of money that I spent. But Zenith, I got a Zenith Defy a few years ago, and there are a few things about the bracelet that really angered me a lot. So this is one of the titanium models, and it's got the skeletonized dial. And first off, no micro adjust, which was really upsetting. And it every time I put it on, it was very, like, it had a lot of sharp edges on the backside, and so it was very pulled hairs, and it just didn't feel comfortable. But the thing that annoyed me the most is that they Loctite all the screws before you get it sized. You have to like use hot water or
Yeah.
some other method to loosen the screws to even size the watch. And then you have to go through that process again and lock the screws in place so that they don't come loose. And like, to me, that is the most insane thing. Like Zen, for example, when you buy a watch from them, they, the screws do not have Loctite on them. They give you a little bottle and you put the Loctite on, and then you tighten the screws once you size it, and it works great. This is the other way around, and it was completely annoying. I actually ended up having to wear the bracelet super tight, and it was comfortable super tight, but I don't normally wear my bracelets that way. But yeah, I was kind of upset a little bit by that whole experience with such a premier brand.
Another one, although I do like the Seamaster bracelet, I can't, and particularly the previous generation, I can't get that to fit on my wrist for love nor money. And those watches did not come with micro adjust. So I've gone back and I've gone into the dealership or the boutique and bought the current generation clasp to fit onto those bracelets, because it's the only way I can get them to be comfortable.
Yeah, I'm shopping for a half link for my wife's Rolex I got for our 20th anniversary, because it has no micro, and it didn't come with half links in the box. So I've got to find an AD and go get one for her,
right?
To put it on. Yeah, I was quite surprised by that. I opened the box thinking, like, good thing I saved it. I'm sure it's in here, and it was just a bunch of full links. And looked it up, and they said, yeah, if you need a half link, you've got to go purchase one for about $60 or something from an AD, and it's
I'm surprised it's that cheap.
Yeah,
Well,
I was going to say that. Like, I thought you would have to swap a link. I thought they'd take one of the full links off you in order to swap it out. But that's
well, maybe there's a big waiting list for the half links. I haven't visited them yet, so we'll see.
Supply chain issues incoming.
Yeah. Talking of poor bracelets, what spurned this entire thing is this. I bought the Aftermarket bracelet for this marathon watch. It's really expensive as well. It's like $360, but it's awful. It's like the most uncomfortable. And I'll try and explain why. Well, first of all, the clasp on it is like $10 worth of clasp. It's like a press clasp. It also has the world's most annoying micro adjust. Diver's extension and Seiko do this, where it's just that one flat piece when it comes out 5 mil. I mean, what use is that unless you're actually wearing a wetsuit? But the worst thing, I'll make a video on this. The worst thing is that the link at the back here, it's slightly askew. So this internal link here, I'm not really showing this very well. But
solo your picture so we can see you.
Oh yeah. So I'm giving away the video now, but I'm going to do another random video on it. But basically, this internal piece here, it's slightly raised. If you see there. And it might as well be. I might as well be wearing a cheese grater on my wrist. It's like literally rip. It's like sheer. It's like a skin graft every time it moves up and down my wrist. It's just a really poor, because this is a sharp not the end piece, but the internal piece. There is like a sharp edge. Ridiculous.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
Is that Marathon's bracelet or a third party?
With the government's, with the Canadian, I think it's the, I don't know if that's US or the Canadian seal. Yeah, that's their own one that's like $360 for this watch. So I don't know whether I've got a dud one. You can even see them sitting the internal link sitting a little proud there. I don't know if I've got a dud one, but this is what spurred this whole video. I've never took a watch strap. I've took a watch strap off and you get the little indent, but I've never had it where it's like removed like the first 3 layers of skin from my wrist. I've got quite a good photo of it, so I'll do a video, but that's kind of what spurred this entire thing. I'm like, God, how could they have got that so wrong? To do it. So let's see if Jeremy's saying he likes his Zenith Defy skeleton bracelet. There you go. And then let's see what else we've got. Yes. So actually, maybe this comes. This is a good segue to. Is there anybody that's? I've got a guilty pleasure of an ugly strap that I think is awesome, and it's somebody's just mentioned it here. The Uncle Seiko razor wire. This is the. I'll do it on solo. I'm making this all about me for a minute. Sorry, I'll ask other questions in a second.
It is your channel.
Yeah. So this is the Uncle Seiko razor wire. This is the most comfortable strap you will ever wear. It's like completely articulated. It'll kind of fold back on itself. It's amazing. I've changed the clasp out, so this isn't their clasp, but it's like the most comfortable strap going. But I think it is ugly. I also think about that as the Breitling asymmetrical one's a bit ugly, but it's good. But does anybody else have like an ugly strap that looks bad but is really comfortable, or looks a bit quirky, I suppose?
Well, I don't have a photo, but I had a Spidal Flexo one, kind of like from the 50s or whatever. And I put it on my Speedmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I put it on my Speedmaster, and I was active on Watch You Seek at the time and shared it, and people just bashed the heck out of it. Like, that is ugly, and it's like, oh, whoa, it just completely shocked me, and it affected my appreciation of it because I thought it looked cool. It was certainly comfortable. The only problem is if you move quickly, then the inertia of the watch head pulls on it, and so it loosens, which is no good. But it was really cool looking, but apparently everyone else thought it was hideous.
But they're all wrong, so why do you care?
Yeah, right.
Well, that's what people said. They're like, you shouldn't worry about it. It's like, but I can't put the genie back in the bottle. Like I now know that even though I love it, and it reminds me that that there's something wrong with me, so I don't like it anymore.
People like, oh, you, what do you, people are like, oh, I'm an internet troll. Oh, what do you troll? Well, I've got a very niche thing where I only troll certain bracelets.
Yeah. I found the den of those guys.
Yeah, we're like in a niche.
They were all probably. They were recently laid off by the company, and now they go after people that use their bracelets.
Yeah. Bobby, you've got to have one. Is there one like an ugly strap that?
Well, no, I mean, like, look, I mean, I know some people like the bun strap, and for me, like, there was never an appeal to this. I had this laying around, and I was like, you know what? Let me put this on the Damasco, and I think I'm a bun strap guy now. Like, it's just amazing how like that has happened. Like now, I mean, look, it's not for every watch, right? I get that. But I think if you asked me like 3 days ago if I would ever wear a watch on a bun strap, I would say hell no way. Just not for me. Kind of looks weird. Kind of looks like almost feels like something like you see like somebody like a fashion, like, something just like
an aging rocker.
Yeah, or an aging rocker.
Yes.
with one of those like leather like bands, you know what I mean? Like Glenn Danzig, you know what I mean? Like with like a big anyway. And so like no way. And then like I just like, I don't know, I was like fumbling through. I have like hundreds of straps, and I was like, you know what, let me just try it on. And now I'm like, man, this is like perfect. Like all I want to do is wear this now. So it's just one of those things.
It visually bulks out the watch as well, because that
Yeah.
speed timer, that 38mm speed timer, Nicola over at Man Cave Leather made me a bun strap for it, and it just visually made it look bigger, which I actually liked. I thought it really enhanced the look of it. And they did, because the bun straps they had a military purpose, didn't they? Because didn't they have like a separate piece that went over like a leather?
I'm sure. Of course, yeah, I'm sure it did. It's just like, like everything, like, like most things, like they had a purpose for it too, right? That is not really, dive watches. I'm not going to go diving, but I mean, like, I think probably the bun strap was the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just odd. It's just an odd thing. It's just odd to me, and I love it now. Now I love it.
Yeah.
Now I'm Bobby Bun Straps. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Steve, you must have seen some ugly straps. You've got such an extensive collecting.
I probably have between 300 and 500 straps. I've got a ton of different stuff, but I was just thinking about like ugly ones that are super comfortable, and I would put the Forstner Comfit in that group. A lot of people hate the way they look. This is the watch strap that the astronauts first wore into space on their Omega Speedmasters, and it's a kind of a goofy looking bracelet, and attaching it is kind of strange as well, but it's very, very lightweight and comfortable. And especially for a vintage watch, I mean, I just think they look really cool. But I think a lot of people kind of hate the way they look and would never wear one. So, I would just say to them, don't diss it before you try it.
I bought one
Yeah,
of those and I ended up giving it to Sam because remember for auction to help
yeah. You had the
Ukraine.
clip one, didn't you? Which was the clip one. Arguably, is even more quirky than this
Oh
one.
yeah, that's right. Maybe I had the Bond clip one.
Mhm.
You had this. The
Either
clip.
yeah, there it is. Okay, and it was just super. Yeah, I couldn't even remember. I guess I should try the other one now. But the clip one was too flimsy and lightweight and cheap and just it
Yeah,
just didn't feel like good quality. I don't know if the other one is with the more meshy appearance, if it's a little bit more substantial or.
yeah. Because that was a really weird one, isn't it? Because it threads back through on itself. It's almost like a metal ribbon type of thing. It was
Yeah.
a really quirky one, but yeah, we
Did you get to play around with it after I sent it, Sam? Did you
yeah, I had
also
a little
find it
go on it, yeah,
difficult?
before we put it up for the for the auction. Yeah, I did. It it needs a very specific watch, doesn't it? I think on the right watch, it looks awesome. It would look awesome.
So now, yeah, now I gotta go buy a Comfit one and see how that one works, perhaps. Although I guess I'm just maybe I'll just be quiet and be happy with the $1,100 one that I got from the IWC dealer.
Yeah, because the Comfit one was the one that with the story isn't the story, Steve, that when NASA sort of grew out of the Velcro hook and loop system strap, that they went to this metal. They went to this for the astronauts because they obviously expand massively and can go around.
Yeah, they're
space.
I
extremely.
think this
Yeah.
this is what they wore when they weren't in a spacesuit. So the Velcro was super long. So if you see pictures of the astronauts in a suit or a shirt or in training, they're wearing this, and then
That's it.
when they go to space, they use the Velcro. And when they take their spacesuit off, because the Velcro was so long, they would just like double wrap it. So I don't think you see pictures of this in space. You see it when they're on the ground. But they
Right.
all used it, so it's pretty legit.
Yeah. That's a good one.
You're gonna start costing me money. I'm saving this page.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's speaking of that, if we're buying aftermarket, well, Mark, actually, why don't you kick this off? Because we're going to talk about where you buy aftermarket straps, but you've never bought an aftermarket strap. Is that right?
I have bought. It's not never, but my experience is considerably less than Steve's. For example, I think I have 2 watches that are non-original, either strap or bracelet. The first one is this one, the Regatta,
Oh yeah.
and that's on a Hirsch Robbie strap, and it's on the Hirsch Robbie because the black and yellow perfectly matches the black and yellow. So this is an aesthetic choice. This actually makes the watch look better. And the other watch I've done that to is to take an Omega Seamaster bracelet and put it on an Omega rubber strap. That's the total limit of my experience of aftermarket. And you buy the Hirsch directly from Hirsch.
Yeah.
So you guys have got a lot more experience on this.
Yeah. I sometimes wonder whether I'm more of a watch strap collector than a watch collector.
Well, that's how you scratch the itch when you're broke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And
Yes,
if you own
then
a
you
Panda
figure
ride,
out.
yeah, sorry.
Then you figure out you've actually spent more on straps than watches.
Yeah, I'm not as bad as Steve, but this drawer here is absolutely overflowing with straps. This is my strap drawer, and it is huge.
So, well, that's a good question. Then, like, where do we go? Bobby, why don't you kick this off? Where do you go to buy your aftermarket straps? Is it all over, or do you have like some preferred websites that you like?
Yeah, it is. It is all over. Let me see. I'm just trying to think of recently. Well, places like, well, I mean, I'll go direct. Like Moonstraps. I really Monstraps or Moonstrap. I think it's Monstraps. They're great. Somebody mentioned Aaron Bespoke on the chat. I've done 1 or 2. Deluxe is another one that I've ordered from. Crafter Blue, I love their rubber straps on Sumos and other Seikos. I mean, I think they fit perfectly well with that. And then there's like there's is it whole beans? Whole beans?
Oh yeah, whole
Yeah,
burns. Yeah.
the whole beans.
Oh, yeah.
That's they carry Fluco straps, which I'm a big fan of as well. So I'm a little bit all over the place. I am not married to one website to get straps. It's just the key is just to find something that will look good with the watch, and it doesn't matter where it is, as long as it looks good.
What was it? Oh, Fluco. There you go. Is it
Yeah.
this? I've not. Okay. So the
Pretty
like
reasonably priced, not super expensive. But I've found a couple. Yeah, I mean that goat skin, the pebble look. I had that on my El Primero, not that color, but a blue one. I like that strap so well that I bought it several times over, because if I had a watch and sold it, I usually include it with the strap. Yeah, big fan of Fluco. Pretty reasonably priced as well.
Yeah, there's some great ones coming through. So somebody's mentioned Watch Gecko.
Yep.
I used to buy
Yeah,
a
they're
load
great.
from Watch. Yeah, I used to buy a lot from Watch Gecko. They had a bit of a funny turn, like maybe last year, where their posted, because they're UK based, their postage to the US was a bit high, but I think they've kind of settled it down. They also have another. Somebody else mentioned Zulu Diver, and I think Zulu Diver is also. It's just another brand that I think another brand that Watch Gecko owns.
Yeah, I think that's
but
true.
they do. Yeah, they do some great ones. Yeah, they do some. They usually have some good sales as well. And I think they're a lot of their. I think their rubber straps are made by that Benito Centurini one. With the, I think actually so are the marathon ones, because they've got that textbook trademark vanilla smell.
Mm-hmm.
Which I always think is funny. Yeah, and a couple that I really like is, I mean, I've got to do a shout out for obviously Macola at Man Cave Leather, who's big, a friend, and also has sent me plenty of straps. He does a really good job of these. Originally from Ukraine, but now he lives in Canada. Hand makes these leather straps. Awesome. I've always been a huge fan of his. Oh yeah, I went through Zulu Diver. Also think Vanguard straps is a pretty good one. They're sort of similar to Rubber Bee or those other ones. They do a good job.
Everest and
yeah. So they're more they do a more sort of, because there's a lot of these, isn't there, that specialize in just doing aftermarket rubber straps for Rolexes.
Yeah.
So I've got a Rubber Bee strap for my Datejust that really adds to it. But I don't know, Steve, what about you? Where do you go for your aftermarkets?
I mean, Bobby totally stole my thunder, because I love going to Holbens.
Yeah.
Fluco is my favorite watch brand, and that goat leather, the Biarritz, which was previously called the Montana, that's my favorite strap that they make. So yeah, I as well own 3 of those, and I think I'm about to buy another couple, because I just think they're very, very high quality. Especially like for vintage watches as well, where if you want something that's got a real heavy taper and it's thin, and I think they're really nice, and they've got some really cool colors as well, like that red, and they've got a taupe, and so yeah, I'm just a huge fan of that brand. I think they're really nice. But I also look everywhere as well, so I buy stuff that's new old stock off of eBay. I get stuff custom made off of Etsy. Etsy is a really good place to find stuff. And I found this really kind of unusual brand that I've never seen before. I can't remember the name, but they make cork straps, and that you can find them on Etsy. And so I've got one on one of my watches here, and I'm always looking for different materials, and I've never seen that many watch straps that are made out of cork, and so there's this brand out of Portugal that's making these, and they're pretty affordable. I think they're maybe only like $20, but they have a lot of different colors and designs, and it's ethical, so that's always a good thing as well. So yeah, I've been really happy with just a lot of these smaller brands that I found out in the wild, just doing searches on eBay or on Google. So that happens to be one of them.
Yeah, and if you still got that one, Steve, that I sent you that's made out of the baseball glove.
Oh yeah, I love
That's-
that one. I don't have
That's
it
cool.
with me right here personally, but I'm a big baseball fan, and so yeah, I remember you sent me a custom, one that's made from a baseball mitt, and yeah, so I put that on from time to time, and I think that's super cool.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm gonna have to find the name because this guy does a really good job of it's called there we go. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to try. Here he is. So this guy, really cool. I don't know if anybody else is familiar with this site. It's called the Strap Smith, and not only does he make straps out of the like baseball gloves that we talked about, but he'll take like old leather stuff that you have. So he makes them out. He can make straps out of old cowboy boots and all sorts of stuff. He does like a really, really good job of it. But yeah, so he sent me a strap that he'd made out of the baseball glove. But yeah, I think this is made out of like old ammunition belts. So if you've got like a really precious, like perhaps pair of old boots or something you don't want to let go, but you can't wear them anymore because they're destroyed, he'll kind of dismantle them and
Pretty
make
cool.
the strap out of it.
Yeah, Sam D in the chat mentioned stingray strap. Anybody else grossed out over ostrich straps? Because I can
no.
never. I don't think ostrich straps are for me, man. I just don't. There's. I mean,
Is it
I've,
because of
I've
the
had ostrich
holes?
burger.
Is it because
Huh?
you can
Listen.
see where the
Yeah, man, I think it's just
where the
too
feathers
close to
have
the
come out?
source. You know what I mean? It's just.
I got ostrich strap is next on my list. I have like 4
Yeah.
pairs of ostrich boots, and
Yeah.
I've got 3 ostrich belts.
Mm.
I need some ostrich straps in my life.
Okay. I mean, like, hey, look, I've eaten an ostrich burger. I've enjoyed it. It's just like the strap, though. It's just like.
Well, I have had a
It's such
stingray
a-
strap. Yeah.
Ostrich is such a soft. It's actually a very soft but durable leather. That's
Yeah.
what's great about it. So
I think the fact that it's so soft too, that I've heard that, kind of grosses me out a little bit. I just I shouldn't make any judgment until I actually have one in hand. But yeah, but see, that doesn't bother me so much. You know what I mean? Like that looks like I mean, I wouldn't even think of ostrich boots. Like why is that a thing? But like these straps I see, they're just like, and they always have they're always like in like a really funky color, and it's just like no, nope. Nope, can't do it. Can't do
Yeah,
it.
the thing with this, just to go back to the question, Sam's question, the thing, has anybody else had a stingray strap? Because I have had one, and they are weird because it has it's like a lot of little circles, and it must be like a nylon, or not a nylon, but like a fingernail type thing. It must be like
Nope.
their protective
No
outer
thanks.
case, and it's quite sharp. If they're not made properly,
Yeah.
it can be quite sharp on the edge, and a lot of them you can't really make like the keeper properly out of them either, because I've had it where they've tried to make the keeper out of it. They're really weird.
it's a very tough hide. It's extremely tough.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
imagine it
and
would take forever to break in.
yeah. I mean, Bobby, what do you have a similar feeling about like alligator or?
No. Let's make as many straps as you want out of an alligator. I don't care. It's just like, and no offense to alligators or crocodiles, but I mean, it's just like I don't know. It's just like, and I'm not like turned off by ostriches. I mean, like, they're majestic bird, I guess. I mean, I mean,
Those things are modern day raptors. They are not cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
They
I
are.
mean,
They're
They are
dinosaurs.
stupid and vicious. Definitely, as birds go, they're stupid and vicious.
Me and
Yes.
a buddy of mine joked about a long time ago about having an ostrich farm. So that I sort of warmed up to them, but not at the expense of like a strap. It's just too close to home. I don't know.
Yeah, I had a strap. I bought a strap that was made out of python once, which was really weird. If you, because it's got like weird scales on it.
Yeah, they're
Has anybody else
peely.
had the snakes? Have you had a snake skin, Todd? Like a python skin strap?
Well, I've got snakeskin boots, and the problem with them, they're very hard to maintain. You have to really be on top of that leather.
Yeah, and they make like lizard. There's toad ones, isn't they? And they make.
Oh, I have a friend who had a toad one. Those are weird too.
I believe that.
That's weird.
And is there ever made this up, or was there one that was made out of salmon?
Oh,
Probably. I think
I mean-
so. I think I've heard of that.
Mhm.
Sam, I think I've.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. There's actually there is some. I think these are made out of salmon skin.
Yikes.
Salmon leather. Yeah, do you know actually maybe we should take this back because my wife and I and Mark are vegetarians, so maybe you should be talking about but there's actually a leather that is it's for all the vegetarians out there. There is a leather, and I don't know if Mark, if you'd heard of this, but it's called well, actually, can you guess what it's made of? It's called, well, actually, it says it there, but Pinatex is made out of pineapple fibers. So they actually take the pineapple and make a leather out of it. It's really weird.
Don't make
I will
leather out
agree.
of anything.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it's not really leather at that point. It's a fabric, isn't it?
It's
I'm-
leather adjacent.
Yeah.
It
I'm,
identifies as a
I'm
leather.
surprised we
Leather
haven't
substitute.
seen. I'm surprised we haven't seen watch straps made out of mushrooms yet.
There is, isn't there?
You can use the you can use a mycorrhizoid fungus to make a fabric. Mercedes-Benz have been playing with it as a sustainable fabric, and you know there's efforts to use
I
it
like
for
it.
packaging. So if you can make a fabric that fits on a steering wheel, you can make a watch strap out of it.
Wasn't there a car
Yeah.
that had seats made out of just I'm gonna clean this up. Whale penis leather? Was that a thing? Was that a thing?
Probably.
I
Possibly.
don't know, but now I feel like the thumbnail needs to change.
That's a
Yeah, you just got
that's a-
demonetized.
that's a weird flex. I'll tell you that.
That's like right. I mean, that's like the weirdest.
Yeah.
I'm looking. Okay, let's see here. There's Barstool. I mean, do you really need to make like who was the guy that came up with that idea? Like, you know what? Use this.
A weird
for?
guy.
Yeah. Just. I'm looking it up.
Someone who needs to be on a
Sorry,
watch
chat.
list of some kind came up with that. That's who came up with that.
Be careful
Yeah, here we
searching
go.
that on your work
$1.5
computer.
million no, this is my home. There's a Russian SUV that features Darts Combat T98.
There's been some great. I'm sorry who said this. I apologize. I've lost your comment. But somebody mentioned Crown and Buckle as well as another one.
Oh, I love them. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. They do a good NATO strap, don't they?
Yeah, I love their adjustable NATO straps. I think they're fantastic.
Are these the ones like the ones that come on the Tudor, the Black Bay 58, that style?
They're similar.
They appear to be similar, but they're not quite the same. Yeah. But like that's the Chevron style, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They call it the Chevron.
I've actually, when I had the Black Bay 58, I was enamored with their stock NATO. I didn't buy it because it was expensive, and I went to Crown and Buckle and got something very, very similar, and was very, very happy.
Yeah, I had that stock on my Black Bay 58. It was nothing special. I think the Crown and Buckle one was actually good. God,
I can't believe no one's mentioned Strapsco.
Strapsco, yeah, sure.
I love Strapsco. Yeah. No, for they've got some great leathers that are like their vintage padded leather is fantastic. They've got suedes that are great, like super comfortable straps. I love them, especially when you get 2 for 1 and on a sale.
Yeah,
they always have a sale.
And the other one, what's the other one called?
The Strap Sailor, which is another which I've been turned on to lately.
Okay, let's
have
a look at that.
I've seen them too.
I got a couple great ones from B&R. I guess guys started it who loved Bell and Ross, and they created it to provide straps for Bell and Ross watches. But now it's wider. But that's my go-to right now. And I got IWC style gray fabric and leather was fantastic, and then their NATO. It's like a speakeasy because if you want the Admiralty gray, it's actually called Glacier Blue on their page. So like it's only for people in the know or whatever, but it's Admiralty gray, and it's super good.
So this is B&R bands.
Yeah. They have a little bit of every style, but I think it's their like Elite or something NATO in Glacier Blue is a dead ringer for the original Admiralty gray color, but it's 10 times the quality. Because I've bought the Phoenix straps, and they don't last.
Yeah, and there's
I
that
sent
guy,
you.
isn't there?
I
The
sent you another
Nathan
one
guy.
in the chat, the private chat, Sam. Clockwork Republic, if you want to up your cheap Seiko game, makes a phenomenal. That looks like it was built, like your watch came factory with it.
Oh, really? Let's have a look.
Yeah,
Oh, you mean the rubber strap or the metal?
But they make a metal end link, and then it fits their rubber strap, and it's FKM rubber, and it's a perfect fit in your watch. Really up. I love theirs. I've gotten probably 4 or 5 from them.
And what is it? Oh, so they just specialize in Seiko. I've never heard of it. I think I've seen this on one of your straps.
Yeah, I have. I've worn them on the show before. It's such a great look. It's got that sort of that Rolex vibe.
Yeah,
but I mean, they're great. Especially when you get that cheap Seiko and you're like, I hate this bracelet.
Yeah, God, there's so many good comments coming through. Yeah.
I like the one that we need to save the pineapples. See, you guys are worried about the ostriches. This guy's looking out for the pineapples.
He's looking out for the pineapples. Yeah.
Way to go, Chaz.
Sam says ID Geneve uses sustainable materials for making their watches from packaging. Oh, okay, so that's
the mycorrhizide fungus. So that's basically made from modified mushrooms.
Is that the entire watch?
No, they certainly the packaging. They've got a couple of options on the packaging that you can. That they're really pushing sustainability.
Okay. Oh wow.
So they talk about using a solar furnace to melt the steel. So they recycle stainless steel, and they melt it in a carbon zero manner by using a solar furnace.
Oh wow.
It's still pretty experimental, so it'll be interesting to see how ID Genève develop in the future.
It's not a bad looking watch, is it? But it's obviously
cool looking.
Higher end.
That's probably the better looking of them. Some of their, I think they're more into materials than watch design, but they're it's an interesting approach they're taking.
Yeah, awesome. We've got some any others that I think we've covered most of the major watch stores, haven't we? Can anybody think of any others? Let's just see if there's any going through the chat. No.
There's one here I've never heard of called MN Cells straps.
What was it? Emin?
Amin? Yeah, I just started. It's Chaz the Berg posted it.
Okay.
Oh, 2 people have mentioned it.
Although one of them says the strap is on back order.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Amin Cell straps. Let's have a look at this. Oh, I can't find it. Yeah, I can't find it.
It might be on like Instagram. It's very I've heard of it. It's very bespoke, and yeah, I've heard people waiting months and months for these.
Oh well, maybe we won't endorse Amin. I'm in.
Yeah,
those gas bones, are they still in business?
Oh yeah, that's
Remember
a good
that?
one. Do you know what?
I'd ordered a couple of those. They were pretty cool.
Yeah, do you know what? I wonder if because he used to make them completely custom, didn't he? And he couldn't actually keep up with it, could he? Let's just see. No,
yeah,
do you know what?
Wait a little
bit.
bit.
Here we go. Watch straps. Yeah, he's no longer making the watch straps. Yeah, that makes sense.
Too bad.
Yeah, because they were really good. I had a couple of custom ones. He was really good with like making different types of nylon and stuff, or making different style of nylon straps. Yeah. Well, yeah, that was really cool. Before we go, I need to do a little plug for something new that I've been working on, and I won't go into this for ages, but I've been working on a watch store. So a couple of people, I keep getting comments about like watches that I've reviewed, and whether people can buy them, what do I do with them afterwards. So I've started up this is a watch store marketplace. It's on District, which is a new website, but this is me selling them. So this is the casual watch reviews marketplace. I'm going to start posting watches and other things, paraphernalia from the channel on there. So if anybody is interested in anything I review, I'll post it on here for sale. Take it or leave it. You're not obliged to buy from there. Obviously it'll help me out, help the channel out.
That's cool.
Hopefully I'm gonna open it up for other people. I can open this up for other people to sell on there as well. So maybe we can have a bit of a community marketplace going as well on here, which would be cool.
I like it.
But, yeah. So yeah,
That's
a couple of what on there now. I'll leave a link in the description down below. You can actually sign up and just follow me on here. You don't have to buy something in order to follow. You can follow it, and then every time I post something new, it will come up on there as well. So it's a new service. It works a little bit better. When I did those Whatnot sales, I was doing it in one go, and I know a lot of people couldn't catch Whatnot because it's a live thing. So I sold a lot of watches through that, but I know people were disappointed that they couldn't get hold of them. So I'll be posting them on here. Some of my own collections, some of the ones that I've reviewed, they'll all be a good deal. So just a little plug for that. There's the link in the description, or you can go to district.net casual watch reviews. I'll leave that up for a second. Cool. Well, that's my little advertisement at the end. But any last thoughts on the watch strap? I think we covered it all.
I feel like we've left one out, and that is our friend Adrian Barkin Jack. He makes some great straps, and when you get him, that comes with a little note. He says cheers and writes his name and signs it. So it's nice. I like.
Yeah, TJ, did we cover your favorite NATO strap?
Oh yeah, we did. That was
Okay.
BNR. Yeah,
BNR.
I put a link in it in our chat because I think I bought probably 20 Admiralty Gray attempts before I found this one, and none of them satisfied. I even on WatchUseek, you can still find it if you just Google Admiralty Gray WatchUseek. You'll see my post where I lined up like 14 or 15 of them in my quest, and then I found this one, and my quest is complete, which is awesome.
Awesome. Cool.
Dedication.
Well, yeah, dedication. Well, a big thanks to everyone for being so active in the comments. Really appreciate you watching. Big thanks to the panel, and we'll see you all next time on Casual Watch Talk. Thanks, everyone.